I want to go over kind of an introduction to the different pastel applicators that we sell, the sponges, some of the brushes, some of the clear coats, and also the Pan Pastels that we are currently selling here at Rocky Mountain Materials. I've gone through with a lot of these brushes and picked out stuff that I personally use every time I'm painting something. I didn't buy just a bunch of random stuff or even the things that pastels sell just to sell it. I picked out things that I use that will be very beneficial for you having success painting and using Pan Pastels. Let me start off with these larger sponges that we sell. One thing that I like about these, if I have a large surface area, if I'm painting a swan or a Canada goose head, I want to be able to cover this with paint really quick. These small applicator brushes that we sell, they work great. It takes a little bit longer to cover this whole head with that area. If I was to take one of these round sponges or even the triangle wedges there and get more paint on the brush, I can quickly apply a layer of black to this head. Whereas if I was using the small applicator, you can see it takes me a little bit longer to get the same detail. So one thing you'll note, after you've done your first layer of black on here, we can still see the under layer of plastic under this bill. This is where our clear coat's going to come in. Clear coat that we sell here, our Rocky Mountain Materials brand, really good at applying. You can even apply it thick without having your colors run. Apply this to your head, and once this dries, you can apply another layer of paint, and it'll allow your paints to build up a lot thicker. I've tried a lot of different clear coats. This by far has been my favorite for building up and getting good detail with the pastels. So make sure you shake it up good. And we'll just quickly coat the head where we're needing to add more color. Now we'll let this dry. We don't want to let it dry fully. Still want it to be tacky when we come back for our next layer. We'll let this dry for a few minutes and then come back and apply another black layer. Okay, we've let our clear coat dry. You can even blow on this, throw some air on there to get it to dry faster. Now watch how much thicker this black goes on after we've applied our clear coat. You can see we get much better coverage on the second layer. And then if we wanted to go deeper, we just do another layer of clear coat, let it dry, and then repeat the process until you have the thickness that you're looking for. So you can see how much thicker that went with this clear coat. And that's why I really like this brand that we sell, because it makes working with the pastels and layering them up extremely easy. Now to finish this head off, if I were done with that and was happy with the results, I do a quick layer of our crystal clear. And this stuff takes a lot longer to dry. I prefer using it at the end to seal everything on. I've found that this stuff, this crystal clear, will hold your paint colors in a lot better than most of the clear coats that I've worked with. Also is easy to work with your colors, and it gives you a nice waxy look after it's dry. So we'll set this aside. So larger stuff like that Canada Goose, that's where I like using these sponges. Large surface areas, they just make the painting process a lot faster instead of trying to paint the whole thing with a tiny little sponge brush here. I do like using the sponge brush. I have a practice head here that we give away to allow you to practice with, a practice scop here, and I like these brushes for some of the smaller heads. So I'll take some gray. You can see how easy this brush applies the paint. We'll be repeating the process like we did on the Canada Goose. We'll be doing our clear coat, and then we'll be building up our second layer. Now we also sell these mini sponge applicators and our precision applicators. These are great for getting the small lines and details that otherwise would be a little bit harder to get with a larger brush like this. So if we want to get this nail black and we want to stay within the lines, we can use this brush here, and it gives us good control so we have clean lines there for that nail. You can see how clean that goes on there. I'm just going to finish coloring in our gray. Now if we want an even cleaner and crisper line, these precision brushes are really good for getting in those really fine tight areas. Something I would use for the black on a Scoter, or some of those really crisp lines on a pintail. So there you can see the application of painting this head with these three brushes here. And then if I were to go ahead and finish this head off, I would do my clear coat, the RMM clear coat. I'd apply that, and then I would repeat the process by doing more grays, maybe some blues, and get some more depth into this head and build up the color on there so it's not so see-through, as you can see the white underneath. And then again, as we did in the Canada Goose, I'll take my flat crystal clear and finish it off to give it that nice waxy look and have a good seal on the head. So as I talked about here, we sell the pastels here at Rocky Mountain Materials, and everything that I have shown you in this video we also sell. The clear coat has been ideal for helping me build up layers and get a good look on the head. And then these brushes I have picked to be some of my favorite to use when painting with pastels. I also have a bunch of different brushes that I use, and each one has its own purpose. Some have different colors that I'll use it with. Those brushes I just find at Walmart or at a hobby store, and I just buy a bunch of packs of brushes and pick out the ones that I like the most. I might trim some of them, modify them to make them a little more user-friendly. But as far as the specialty brushes, these ones here that we sell are the ones that I use on a daily basis when painting. So I hope this helps. Hope this gives you a good rundown on why we sell the products that we do and how they can help you use pastels effectively.